Hey guys, it's Jemmy. So, you know the playthroughs that I've been doing for the dungeons up until now? I think I have about 6 out. We've done them in the style where they're kind of a walkthrough slash playthrough where I just tell you tips and, not tricks I would say, but tips and recommendations of how to complete the dungeons successfully. Of course, there's many other ways to do these kind of dungeons, but just giving one option for you. So instead of doing the playthrough slash walkthroughs anymore, we are going to condense that and just show the boss fights, where I talk about the mechanics of the fight, the difficulty level, or any kind of other tips that you need to know. I feel like this would help you kind of get all the information to know about each dungeon without having to watch redundant mob fights throughout the entire playthrough. So with that said, let's go into the first level 30 dungeon, which the recommended level is from 28 to 31. We'll go ahead and start off with the Ark's Corinium dungeon. The recommended group setup, as always, is 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS. The first boss you will encounter is a mini-boss called the Fanged Menace, which you could probably tell by the name. He is a snake. This boss isn't all that difficult as long as you watch out for 2 skills. One is a wide conal AoE, indicated by a red triangle that knocks you back. There is enough time to roll or dash out of the way, so you might want to do that. If you don't have a lot of time to react, block through it. The second skill is the main one that the boss really likes to use, so this is the one that you want to pay most attention to. It's a poisonous dot AoE indicated by a large red circle extending out from the boss, while the boss curls up into kind of like a ball or like, I don't know, a pile of poop. Anyone standing in the circle would take continuous dot damage in which a part of the stolen health is given to the boss. So this is not something that you want to be standing in, even for tanks. And besides those 2 skills, just avoid its regular attacks as well as heavy attacks by blocking or rolling out of the way. The second boss is the Tempest, and the key tip about him is to spread out on the field. There are a couple of moves that he rotates, and the first one is an electrical pulse shock that he does several times. It doesn't seem to be avoidable, so block if you are at low health to reduce damage as your healer heals through it. Second is a front conal AoE indicated in red, which can easily be avoided by rolling or running out of the way. The third skill is an electric wave, where Ganacton targets one random member in your party and sends a wave of electricity towards them, damaging and stunning anyone in its path. This skill is why we do not want to be standing close to each other. If you are stunned, you can also break out of it if you have the stamina for it. The last skill that Ganacton rotates is where he kind of electrifies his tail and sends a small ball or orb of lightning at a random target, knocking them down. So these are the 4 skills that you just need to watch out for, besides any kind of regular attacks that he does, also a heavy attack he does. The third boss is Lina the Songstress. Lina also has a pet with her, and in this fight her pet plays an essential role. For Lina, basically, besides her regular attack and heavy attack, she seems to execute only one skill. So during the fight, Lina will begin to sing, and when she starts, her pet will run away from her in a corner of the room and curl up into a coil, putting up an aura. This is because Lina's song deals continuous damage, maybe because in reality this songstress can't hold the tune, and her pet must know it too, because the aura around the pet is a protective barrier. So we want to use this pet's protection to our advantage. When Lina starts to sing, that is your cue to find the snake pet and stay within the aura that the pet puts up till Lina stops singing. Then it is safe to resume your normal attacks. If you notice the tank in this fight, he is a good indicator as to what kind of damage you will be taking. But just to note that even for tanks, please stay within the barrier, because there's really no reason to stand outside of the aura taking damage to the face as your healer spams their entire mana bar to keep you alive. The fourth boss is mini-boss Matron Ixnea. This boss doesn't have much life, but she does pack a lethal punch if you aren't careful. Her lethal skill is when she targets a random person in your group and places a red circle followed by a larger circle. Basically, it is 2 rings of AoE damage. If you stay in the center, you will take both damage of both of the circles, possibly one-shotting you. But if you are only under one of the red circles, you will take less damage since you are not doubling up as you were in the center. But honestly, that's not as important whether you take double damage or half damage, because our goal is to be long gone on the other side of the field before any of the circles go off. So practice your map awareness and watch out for where those red circles are coming up at, and then avoid those. And Matron Ixnea will be a piece of cake. The fifth boss is mini-boss Ancient Lurker. At first, the Ancient Lurker has some ads surrounding him, so take out the ads first before resuming to the boss. As for the skill the Lurker has, we'll go ahead and start off with the first one, which is a smaller AoE that extends out from the boss that deals damage, so melee and tanks should be wary of the skill and be able to avoid it when it comes up. Second is a green tether that will target a random party member that deals dot damage. Block to reduce damage to help your healer out. The final boss is Celestris the Lamia Queen. For this fight, it requires you to be a little bit more aware of your surroundings. So first off, you should notice that the room is filled with shallow water that you could barely kind of differentiate, but you should be able to tell where the water is and where the water isn't. And there's also these small islands that are dry. The Lamia Queen does rotate a few skills, so we'll go ahead and start off with her skills first. First, she has a frontal conal AoE, so for everyone else, it's the best rule of thumb to stay behind the boss while the tank is in front of the boss. So as a tank, you want to make sure that you face the boss away from your other party members so that the conal AoE doesn't bother any of them. Second is that the boss does a small charge at random members of your group. This charge is pretty quick, so you kind of have to have fast reaction time to kind of block it or maybe roll out of the way. The third skill is the main attack that Celestric does. It is a lightning attack where she will channel lightnings. During this time, certain areas of the map will be marked by red AoE circles. Everywhere that has the red AoEs, you will take lightning damage from them, but it is going to be a manageable amount of damage. Now, if the Lamia Queen is in the water while she's charging up her lightning attack, where she's kind of waving her hands like a crazy person, standing in that water with her will do significantly more damage than if you were standing in the red circles on dry land. And that is because if you remember a little bit of science here from your youthful days, or maybe if you are youthful right now, that's great. Water is a great conductor of electricity. So if you're standing in water, you're going to take all that electricity first because the currents are going to flow through it a lot quicker. So end of the science lesson. Hence, you want to basically not be in the water if she's standing in the water. So the ideal part of this fight is for the tank to keep the Lamia Queen on dry land, so that when she does her move, you are safe to be standing in the water and not have to be worried about getting electrified. So that is all 6 bosses for this dungeon. I hope it gave you some insight as well as some tips maybe when you're running this dungeon and encountering these bosses. Of course, we will have the other 2 level 30 dungeons coming up really soon. So thank you guys for watching, and if you wanted to see any of the previous dungeons, I'll go ahead and leave that link in the center right here for you. I do also have a vlog video if you're interested in that. If you would like to keep updated with the latest videos that we upload, then go ahead and subscribe with the link on top or below. And you can also subscribe to my vlog channel if you're interested. If you would like to stay connected with me, I do also have a Twitter, Facebook, and more with all the convenient links listed in the description box. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys all. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!